Something else. What did I have for breakfast this morning? I had a thing of leftover fugaz that I had purchased from Beach P that was about to go stale.
I had some combos while I was driving.
You had combos. Oh, ooh.
Kate Constantine, recurring character.
Hi.
Welcome back to Make a Mixtape.
Third episode arc.
A year ago, you came to me with something a challenge you had set aside for yourself. A 25 in 25 movie challenge. Talk to me about what was behind that and what that is.
Yes. So I basically had all of these movies that every time someone brought them up, I'd be like, no, I still haven't seen it. I keep forgetting to watch it. So I said I need to put all of the films, my priority films that I need to watch in one space, because I have a tendency, as most of us do, if I sit down and I want to watch something, I watch a comfort film over and over again, which is fine. And we all need that from time to time. But for me, it was a challenge not only to watch all those things I've been putting off watching and that my friends have been pestering me and bothering me about. There's a couple of Zach films on here.
There certainly are.
But also kind of for me, my list last year was a challenge for me to expand and diversify my watch list a little bit. So that was what I set out to do. And I said that I wanted to, and it's a goal that I have for this year as well, and we'll get into it, but really focusing on being intentional with what I'm absorbing and watching less short form content. There's a lot of long movies on my 25 to watch in 2025. Yeah, that was basically the challenge, and I told you about it.
Yeah, and so then I said, I will do the same thing. Now, this problem you're describing, where someone says, have you seen that? And the person says, no, I haven't seen that. I don't have that problem often. I see a lot of movies. However, there's a kind of tier of movies I find that are like, I don't know, somehow it's a harder lift to put them on. Some of them are like this middle tier, like I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 3.5 star kind of movie. And then there's also like the classics that are maybe going to be a little harder to get through.
Yeah.
And I found this was a very useful way to incentivize myself to actually sit down and watch, like, Opening Night, the John Cassavetes film, for example, which was, in fact, really hard to get through. But I did watch it.
There were probably a ton of things that I could have included that I had to leave out. And also, because it's the nature of movies that my friends keep asking me if I've seen, they leave the noggin instantly. You know, there could be something that you recommended me that I just simply forgot that I was not able to add. So it was a challenge. It's there's a lot of, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of movies out there, and as we're seeing more and more, I'm really glad that it seems like more and more people are getting into films and discussing films, and cinemas, are they back? Are they coming back? So now there's even more people in my life that are frequent movie watchers that are giving me even more recommendations. It's very overwhelming. I
feel like globally, cinephilia is back. Physical media is like also following close behind.
We can only hope.
It might be a little too late for that, but we'll see what happens.
Never.
But in terms of my own experience of like going to the movies, it still feels extremely consistent. Like I still see movies in the middle of the day with like 3 retirees, you know, like that's like still what I do. And it's still 3 retirees, you know, like there's nobody else there yet. But I am, one of my many weird goals for 2026 is just like seeing movies in different circumstances.
Yes.
And, you know, trying to go back to some screenings of the music. I haven't seen a movie at the music hall in years. Things like that. I got to go back and do that again. I got to go to more theaters too. There's like, I want to go on little special missions.
Have you been to the Coolidge?
No.
Zach,
I know. This is a big
Zach.
problem. When I was living in Boston, I used to always go to the Kendall Square Theater. And on some level, I knew that I was missing something by not going to the Coolidge Corner Theater.
Yes.
And yet, I didn't go. And this year, there were a lot of conversations about format, right? Because of movies like One Battle After Another and Sinners, and people kept talking about, like, you got to go to a 70 millimeter IMAX screening. And I was like, no. Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm an adult man. I'm a dad. I'm approaching 40. I already have enough like preoccupations. I cannot become a format nerd.
Tarantino heads be damned.
Yeah, and I saw One Battle After Another in RPX Regal. It's a big screen.
At least
it's not
RPX.
the right aspect ratio.
Yeah.
It's a big screen, but I was like, this has to be good enough. I cannot become this person. Like, I just refuse. And even as I say, I'm going to try to travel to more exotic theaters and things in 2026. I will do that without becoming a format nerd. This is my promise.
Well, you went to the most exotic theater of all, the Jordan's IMAX Furniture Theater.
Statistically, it is one of the biggest screens in the world.
It's crazy.
It's not like the best quality. They brag about their projector, but there's like very obvious like smudges on the screen that you can see. And so it's not ideal, but still.
I haven't been to the Jordan's Furniture Store / IMAX Theater in years.
I go once a year. I make an annual pilgrimage. And that will continue. Yeah. Probably for the Odyssey.
So I keep forgetting. I literally keep forgetting.
I should have put that on my 26 and 26 list, because another way that we're going to get into how we did, and one way that I did sort of juke my stats a little bit, was that I chose movies that I knew I was going to see. Yes.
I choose movies I know I probably will avoid watching.
There were like 5 or 6 movies, maybe like 3 movies that were 2025 releases that I knew I was absolutely going to see, and that did happen. And then there was also a good chunk of like maybe 5 movies that were 2024 leftovers that I knew were going to be hitting streaming soon.
Yeah.
And they did, and I watched them, and they were good. So, that's how did you do? Numerically, how'd you do on your 25?
Okay,
so the goal was to watch these 25 movies in
Yes.
2025. How many did you watch?
So Zachary texted me maybe in July and said, "Hey, I'm almost done with my list. How are you doing?" And I said, "Not great, bud." At this point, let me preface it with this. I have the opposite problem of you, where I don't watch a lot of movies in the theater. So this year I'm trying to watch a lot more movies in the theater. I don't know why. I'm just a very busy person and no one wants to come see movies with me, which is not true. I just don't ask. I also, a majority of my film watching, I used to watch movies, like I used to watch a movie like every single night with my partner at the time, and then we broke up this summer. So then I no longer have a person to force me to watch movies with them, which is fine. It's okay. It just meant that most of this was me doing things by my own will, which is not always strong. So according to the brilliant minds at Letterboxd,
Best website on the internet.
Best website on the internet, I watched 48% of my 25 to watch in 2025.
Okay, so that's 12.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, not bad. I mean, you saw more than 12 movies.
Right.
You just didn't see...
From the 25 to watch in 2025.
Right. Because I watched 24 of the 25 movies on my list. But I watched 160 movies in 2025.
See, it was just a low movie watching year for me in general. I only watched 67 movies, which is like such rookie numbers, and I'm actually really mad at myself.
You got to bump those numbers up.
But I will say, before we get into our 25 and how they worked, I think the great thing about this was it also challenged me to create movie lists for a lot more things. So what I wound up doing, instead of watching my 25 to watch in 2025, is I would bring it up to my friends and say, would you like to watch any of these? They were not interested in any of the movies on my list, but there were a bunch of movies that they hadn't seen that I wanted them to watch, or vice versa. So we created our own list. So I have several lists of watch lists for different friends of mine that whenever we're hanging out, instead of being like, what do we watch? Now we just have a list.
So there's like a pay it forward effect
Yes.
of this project
Yes.
beyond just me making a list and absolutely crushing you numbers wise. There's a second thing you did, which was that you inspired a community around you
Yes.
to embrace cinema.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I will also say I commend you on your success. Zach is a man with a wife and two children, and I am a single woman with not much going on, and I was not able to accomplish my
I
my
wouldn't
task.
say you have not much going
This
on.
is true.
We should say that you had a banner year.
I had a busy year.
In 2025, you were named one of the Seacoast 10 to watch. I am no longer one to
You're no
watch.
longer being
You
watched.
are instead a person to watch. You obviously helped start a giant new Gather Community Food Center. That was also a big deal. You also starred in forthcoming television commercials from Kenny Bunk
Are we allowed
Savings.
to talk about that? Yeah.
I think we could talk about it. I think it's no secret. So just like a lot of things that you were accomplishing a lot.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, I watched a lot of movies, and I didn't watch the one I didn't watch. I'm okay with a little imperfection in my life, and I didn't watch Howl's Moving Castle. And the reason is I was trying to read the book first because my oldest son, Arlo, read the book, and we were going to watch it together once I finished reading the book. I didn't finish reading the book, and also I watched the trailer, and I was like, this might be a little intense. And as far as like a Studio Ghibli, starter pack for both my children and myself, I thought might be the wrong choice.
I would say it's not as bad as like Nausicaa or Spirited Away. I would say like, probably but yeah, start with like Kiki's Delivery Service.
That's
something.
the plan.
Yeah.
So, it was a conscious decision to not watch that 25th movie because I will finish that book. I've started reading books again, and my children will be age appropriate to see it, and we'll do it then, whenever that may be.
Yep.
So, all right, let's talk about what you saw, and
Yes.
let's do, let's start with like some highlights. What were the highlights here?
Well, two of my favorite films of the year came from this list, Anora and The Green Knight.
I love both of those movies.
Was Anora also on your... I'm looking at yours right now.
No, I saw
No,
Nora
you
when it
already
came out
seen
last
it,
year.
yes.
Yes.
So
I'm a day one Sean Baker head.
I think this is my favorite Sean Baker, actually. But I liked it a lot better than the Florida Project. And did I ever see Red Rocket? I can't remember. But
I think if you saw Red Rocket, you'd remember.
I would remember, so I did not see Red Rocket.
Yeah. Okay.
That's for the 27 and
I haven't
27.
revisited the Florida Project, but that's what I think of as my favorite Sean Baker
Yeah.
movie.
I think obviously everyone talks about Mikey Madison, just incredible performance. What, the most number of F-bombs in any Oscar-winning film, something like that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Take that, Tarantino. And I thought it was brilliant. I love that a lot of the actual strippers, Annie's coworkers, are actual working sex workers, and I love a film that's like an anxiety attack. And I also love a film where the dialogue is just very normal. Anora and Love Lies Bleeding were the only ones that I had. No, Anora, Love Lies Bleeding, The Substance, I had put on there as 2024 leftovers I hadn't seen.
Yes.
But yeah, Anora being one of the tops, Love Lies Bleeding, and The Substance being major disappointments for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I never saw The Substance because I am too squeamish.
See,
So.
I'm as a big like Cronenberg head. I love body horror. Regular like normal blood I can't do. Like Frankenstein, like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein I watched this year. I could do all of everything except for like the anatomically correct like sawing off of a leg. I was like, anything like medical I can't do for some reason. But The Substance, I watched The Substance with my friend Caitlin and hated it because she said that was too gross, and I hated it because I said I thought that was going to be grosser.
Well, then they really missed. They
Yeah.
really. I mean,
They-
somewhere
they-
out there's someone who it's the perfect sweet spot for.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it might have been my friend John's favorite movie last year, so he's maybe the intended audience for that particular level of grossness.
Yeah.
But I just knew. Like sometimes I listen to a podcast called Too Scary Didn't Watch, where they talk about horror movies and they describe what happens in those movies. And there are movies that I know I'm never going to see, so I listen to them. And then like I was pretty sure I was going to see Weapons at some point, so I didn't listen to the Weapons episode. But the substance, there were just a few things like they talked about like someone pulling like a chicken wing out of a belly button, and I was like, I'm 100% out. Like I'm out forever. You will never convince me to see this movie.
No, that I laughed
forever.
out loud. I was like, haha, that's great.
Yeah, I can't do. There's like belly button stuff I can't do. Can't do it.
Yeah. Are you an innie or an outie?
An innie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've met several outies.
Do you think outies are maybe more extroverted about belly button stuff?
I don't know. I guess because they're used to seeing it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they are.
Or maybe they're self-conscious.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to think about it. Yeah.
And The Green Knight was another highlight for me. I had my brother one year got me A24 released an edition of it that had the original poem, the Arthurian legend. So I read the poem and then watched the film. Another film that I watched it 3 times this year. I watched it the first time. I was like, what just happened? And then I was like, I need to see it again.
So I watched it again. You watched it 3 times?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So in that time, someone could argue in the time that you rewatched The Green Knight, you could have watched 2 of these other movies, but I say, let me live my life. I watched it a second time just to knowing the ending, just to kind of absorb what happened. I think it's a really fantastic film about pride, and it's The Green Knight. Sir Gawain is this, kind of has this duty to be a knight and to be a lord because he happens to be born one, but he's too immature to face the responsibility, but wants to think that he can. And I also watched this with my friend Caitlin, who hadn't seen it upon my 3rd watch, and she said, we were watching it, and she goes, I'm so sorry. Dev Patel is just so beautiful that I can't pay attention to the plot, which is true.
I can see that.
In this movie, he is the most handsome man to ever exist, and it is slightly distracting at times because he's really putting in his all. It's a devastating performance, but he looks too handsome to have gone through all this. Like they gotta mess him up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a certain kind of like surreal touch that somehow, that's the part that somehow hammered home that it was like a period piece. You know what I mean? Like I like when my historical fantasy fiction is itself in like too weird a world to exist.
Yes.
And I think that helps it for me for some reason. And I don't know, I really enjoyed a lot of the, there's that long spinning shot where like at one point he's a skeleton,
yes.
and then that stuff was just, I don't know, it scratched like an itch for me that I don't think I've had since like I used to watch like Liquid Television on MTV, like that level of surrealism supporting making you feel like you're in another world.
There are some more surreal elements of it that I thought I was just like, I'm not going to get what this is. And it looks a little too goofy, like the giant people, the giant people, like the tall giant that he's just walking out and he's like, you guys, the fox was fun, little fox.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great. And the kind of, I won't spoil for our, do you want to leave spoilers for our...
Spoiler warning for The Green Knight.
Spoiler alert for The Green Knight. The kind of before when he's at the chapel and before he comes to terms with the Green Knight, and it's kind of this vision of what would be had he not come to face his fate, and it's crazy.
The classic La La Land.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very. Oh yes,
or 25th Hour ending.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So for me, I guess the ones that I had marked as like the highlights from my 2025 were, a lot of them were the 2024 leftovers. So a movie called Nickel Boys that was incredibly beautiful and so difficult that I never want to see it again. But the experience of watching it was incredible. Not good, but like incredible.
Did you read the book?
No. But I would read the book now.
That's be great.
But the movie is pretty great. Perfect Days. the film about the guy who cleans toilets in Japan and just drives around listening to cassette tapes. Great. What's weird is Wim Wenders. There's a movie called Paterson from a couple of years ago with Adam Driver playing like a poet in Paterson, New Jersey, and it's like almost feels like it's the exact same movie, like including like an important object going missing. And both of those movies are just like about, I don't know, simple pleasures in a way that I often cannot appreciate myself. So I like when a movie takes me and says like, this thing you can't appreciate it, please, for 2 hours. And I can, the agreement I can make with the movie, like when you see a movie where they travel to another country and it's sort of like going on a little mini 2-hour vacation, I can sort of like surrender my own value system for like 2 hours and be like, yeah, maybe I would like to live a really simple life where I just drive around and don't really communicate with a lot of people and don't really speak and just like appreciate, you know, the art and the peaceful moments I encounter. Maybe I could for 2 hours of my entire life. I could do that. Okay. Also, a movie that I really loved that I think you would like that I keep forgetting to recommend to people is A Different Man. This is Sebastian Stan, who I think is becoming one of the most interesting actors. Sebastian Stan's been in Marvel movies for the last 400 years, but he's been doing fun stuff on the sides, and I believe that by doing that, he has accumulated a certain amount of aura. This guy used to be like Captain America's third place sidekick, okay?
Or that guy in Gossip Girl whose name I can't remember, something preppy name.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But he shows up in one of the worst movies I saw this whole year that was not on the list, the Captain America Brave New World, I believe is what it's called. Originally it was called New World Order, and they backed off of that title.
Oh my God.
So Captain America Brave New World. It's a very bad movie, and Sebastian Stan shows up for like 45 seconds in a little Hail Mary cameo scene, and it was the only audible reaction from the audience in the whole movie. And I thought, this guy has gained something along the way. And in A Different Man with Renata Rensby, another huge MVP of my list this year, and hopefully next year, it's a movie for sickos, but in like a really fun way.
Done.
Like it just really, it goes off the rails in a really fun way. And A Different Man was one of my 5-star movies this year on my 25 and 25 list. Okay. What about let's talk about the homework movies. Because I definitely had a couple of homework movies on my list. Are you looking at my list right now?
I'm looking at your list.
Yeah. I had a couple of homework movies on my list that I had never seen Vertigo. And, you know, it was great. It was Vertigo. I had never seen Paris, Texas. And that was also like a wonderful, lovely, calming experience watching Paris, Texas. I'd never seen The Big Chill, and that was like infuriating in a really fun way. Like in like as if I needed more reasons to resent baby boomers. This movie just gave me so many more.
Yeah.
And then I did a bunch of documentaries, and they were extremely emotionally difficult, but Minding the Gap is a documentary about a bunch of skateboarders who are basically like living in a completely collapsed, abandoned town and like trying to maybe make something of themselves or become adults, but not trying that hard. And some of them, sort of catastrophically failing at that, like a very upsetting documentary, but also has like beautiful skateboarding scenes to kind of like leaven it a little bit, you know? And then All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, which is a documentary about the photographer Nan Goldin, which is probably the most the thing that made me feel the most inspired this year, which was a year that had a lot of despair in it, like geopolitically. And Nan Goldin's activism is really direct and clear and powerful. And the documentary does a great job of just showing that to you and showing you like, here's what an artist can do.
My homework movies, I did not get to any of them. So La Dolce Vita, which is one of the only Fellinis I haven't seen, notoriously paparazzi, coined from paparazzo, who's an irritating photographer that follows them around throughout the course of the film. I also didn't. Oh, so I had every intention of watching La Dolce Vita, and I was going to watch it with my partner at the time, who is a big Fellini head. We purchased it. They have since taken La Dolce Vita off of Criterion Collection. But I thought I had found it on Criterion Collection until I found out I had purchased it from the Irish IFC. I thought I had purchased it from the American IFC store. So, of course, when I put it into my Blu-ray player, it did not play. So now I just, if anyone lives in Ireland and they would like me to ship them a copy of La Dolce Vita, hit me up.
Or if anyone has a region-free player they want to send to you.
Yeah.
That's maybe. So the playwright Tracy Letts is a huge physical media head, and he and his wife, the actress Carrie Coon, post on Letterboxd frequently about they have a couple Letterboxd account.
Cute.
And he owns like 12,000 Blu-rays or something, and he has I listened to a podcast once where he gave very specific instructions about region-free players and like what to buy. So yeah, again. Not a format guy.
Yeah.
Never going to do it.
For me, I think it's more so like, because everyone was like, well, Kate, why don't you just like rent it or get the regular Blu-ray? But for me, if it is on Criterion, I want to at least watch like one special feature, especially for something like this, where I'm like, I want to embrace everything on it. Parasite also, I feel like was a homework assignment for me, because it was just like Kate, this is ridiculous. You haven't seen Parasite yet? I have not watched it. Because I have a bunch of people that I told them it was on the list, friends of mine that also haven't seen Parasite yet, that are like, wait, I need to see it too. So
super watchable movie.
Yes.
The thing about Parasite is that like I remember sitting down to watch it thinking that it was going to be a little homeworky or something, and it's not. It like rips.
Yeah.
From like minute one. You're just like, let's go. Funniest story about Parasite, by the way.
Okay.
My wife's grandmother is a 91-year-old Japanese woman. And when Parasite won Best Picture, she went and saw it in theaters and was like, yeah, she basically was like, I show up for Asians. You know, she's like, I have to represent.
Of course.
And she was
I'll be
like,
there.
having seen Parasite and being like, wow, what did Fuji think of Parasite? She was like, it was pretty fun. I thought it was going to be like a monster movie, but it was pretty good.
I thought it was going to be a monster movie.
Yeah, with the name Parasite. You just assumed it'd be like a monster. So, yeah, I really wish I could have been sitting next to her in that theater. But, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is one of my goals for this year is also just to be doing one task at a time, which is difficult.
Yeah.
So, like,
redemption.
A lot of films in other languages, foreign films that I love that I would like to watch. Like, I wanted to do a rewatch of Breathless so I could watch the Richard Linklater.
Nouvelle Vague,
but I just, like, every time I would sit down to watch it, and I've seen Breathless all the time, so I was like, I can watch it and, like, work on stuff. And I was like, no, I need to read the captions.
It's in French, yeah.
Like, it's in French.
I actually had never seen Breathless until this year.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Have you seen any other Jean-Luc Godard films?
Yeah, probably. But I think in college, but like, I think the only issue, like when I watched Vertigo, I didn't rate it on Letterboxd, and people were like, why is there no stars for Vertigo? And I was like, that's like beside the point.
Yeah.
Like, these movies and the lessons that other filmmakers have learned from these movies are so like embedded in the firmament of filmmaking now that you almost can't see them. You have to really work. And Nouvelle Vague actually helped a little bit to help me understand exactly what was new or different about the way that in the abstract, I know what the French New Wave's like deal was, but at the same time, it's like, our attitude toward jump cuts in movies has gone nuts. And that's as much because of people like Christopher Nolan as it is now because of like Jean-Luc Godard, you know, because these people, they started cutting to action in this way that builds on your understanding of what's already happening in movies. Like, if you took someone from the 60s and you brought them forward and you made them watch Oppenheimer, they'd be like, what? Because they'd be like, how that he didn't come in that door, you know? And because they never walk into rooms. They're always in the middle of a conversation. And that's not like completely bizarre, but the reason we can follow it is because we already watched movies where the person walks in the room. So anyway, that's all. Breathless. It was good.
How would they feel about long shots? Like, how would they feel about Birdman, do you think?
Oh my God. You know what's really funny is that I fucking hate the movie Birdman. And I've recently been watching The Studio, the Seth Rogen show. And it uses lots of really long takes, which are kind of fun. But also, it uses a score in some episodes that are primarily just drums. And that is like, I think, by necessity sometimes when it's a show with lots of really, really, really fast dialogue. But I was really enjoying it. And then I was like, wait a minute. This is Birdman. And then like I got kind of so mad that I had to like power through a couple of episodes to get past the feeling that I was just watching Birdman again. Such is my, and I love Emma Stone. So it's hard to deal with the fact that Birdman, every once in a while I remember Birdman exists and I get mad.
The only thing I can work with on this stage is this chicken. So I'm going to work with the chicken. I mean, did I ever tell you about how I was a film studies TA?
No.
In college? So I was a film studies TA in college, which meant I did all the screenings, which was great because I got to watch a bunch of movies. But it was awful because it meant I had to see Citizen Kane 6 times. No one should ever have to watch Citizen Kane 6 times. So I hate Citizen Kane, but I will never rate it because I'm like, it's Citizen Kane. If Citizen Kane were to come out today, I would say this is a... I don't want to get mad, but like I would just say, I don't know, like just when the poor students would come in and they'd be prepared to watch, we're going to watch Citizen Kane. It's the greatest movie of all time. Like, this is a great movie if you're really interested in like muckraker journalism. It's a great movie if you like shots of drops of water falling on the ground. It is not a great movie if you want any sort of semblance of an interesting plot that moves in a speed that is coherent in any way.
You know what made me want to, I mean, I remember like, I haven't seen it since I was like maybe 17, but what made me want to watch Citizen Kane again was I was just listening to a podcast about The Social Network, and they were like, The Social Network is an update of Citizen Kane. And I was like, oh my God, it is. Like, instead of the journalism, it's the trials.
Yeah.
But like, Aaron Sorkin uses journalism and courtroom scenes interchangeably. And is about to, again, in The Social Reckoning. Do you know about this? The Social Reckoning with Mikey Madison.
I'm so excited.
I think Aaron Sorkin's not a good director.
No.
But I am still... It's not on my 26 and 26 because I don't know if it's coming out in 2026.
I don't think it is.
I'm tabbing it with interest.
I'm a big Sorkin head. We've talked about this. I'm excited for that crazy dialogue.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Jeremy Allen White, Mikey Madison, and Jeremy, the other Jeremy that I just said, Jeremy Strong. Mm-hmm. Those three, Aaron Sorkin, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. I even like Steve Jobs. So
I know you're number one Steve Jobs defender.
Ran the money up to a whole nother level. Hustling ass nigga, I don't know no better. When I got richer, these hoes got wetter. Bro, call me slow, 6 racks on a sweater. My bitch think I'm cheating, I'm just chilling with the fellas. Grandma always told me never trust these helpers. Split 60 racks on the camouflage bells. Blue diamonds on me, nigga, I'm a blue gel. 2 twin Glocks on me, Hessel and Grella. I'm nothing like them, I put paper over pleasure. I used to want to M, nigga, know I got self. If it's about money, then you know it's whatever. If it's about money, then you know I'm on it. These niggas be hating, no biz, I don't. Can't take my chain, ain't nothing like homie. South Memphis, Spanish, bad bitch, most want it. Let me switch the flow, just like a breaker, yeah, I'm addicted to dope. It's a cold word, yeah, keep a brick in my coat. Money hungry ass nigga tryna give me some more. Smoking on op pack, nigga, this ain't dope. Talking down on glitz, I like you ain't the goat. If you don't agree, ask the streets and your hoe. This shit fire air, you already know.
I wanna be like Muhammad Ali. Hang on no ropes and I beat you to sleep. Talk to get money cause talk is too cheap. $250,000 when you open my brief. Celebrity status, so keep this shit brief. Drink about me cause I keep it in reach. No nigga didn't do that shit like that boy me. Word on the street, let me preach. Listen little nigga, sometimes you don't speak. Pull out that stick, then don't sweep in the street. I make $250,000 every week. She said that my soul is making me weak. I've been on Percocets for the last week. Sipping on lean, I'm sleep. Geek, move out the way, beat. Riding no waves to see. Ain't no complaints. Racks in the bank. Oh, what you think? We got some rain. Leo S. tank. Robbing the bank. Pull out the bank. You was a stranger. We don't relate. No. Racks in the safe. Steak on my plate. My sons are done. My bitch Amazon. My plug is Hans. She fucking for sons.
At 17, I wanted everything that was in store. At 23, I bought it all just to make sure.
Okay, so let's see.
I will say my other two pieces of homework for myself, and this is again I set myself up for failure with this because I picked so many long movies. I think when I realized I was not going to be able to do this challenge was when I added up the hours I had remaining, and it was almost 48 hours. And I was like, that's crazy.
Wait, how long are some of these
not 40,
movies?
I'm sorry, not 48, 24.
Okay,
that would be crazy.
Yeah, okay.
So I had Seven Samurai on there.
Mm-hmm, that's a long one.
Which is a long movie. I've seen Lady Snowblood. I wanted to watch, and then with the Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair coming out this year, I was like, it's finally time for me to watch Seven Samurai. And then, which my brother watched, and then he said, oh, it's so great. It's so long though, and I was like, awesome. Not getting to that.
Yeah,
someday. Lawrence of Arabia, which I have seen half of. I saw half of it at the Coolidge Corner. It's a 4-hour movie. I saw half of it at the Coolidge, and they did an intermission in between. And I realized at intermission, I looked at my phone, and I realized my alarm was going off because I was late for the bus. So I had to run out of the theater. I don't know. I didn't factor in the fact that it's a 4-hour movie. I factored in only 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I would love to finish it.
I mean, that's like almost on an annual basis, there are Lawrence of Arabia screenings,
yes.
right? So that's something you could probably
I'll do it again.
Yeah, go back
They're always guaranteed. They're always going to do the Lawrence of Arabia screening. They're always going to do their Lord of the Rings trilogy, which now Lord of the Rings, all the films are coming back to the regular theaters. But why would I go to Regal to watch Lord of the Rings when I could go to the Coolidge and be with a bunch of Peter Jackson heads going, actually.
Oh, that sounds really fun. All right, what did you not like?
What did I not like?
On your list, yes.
Yeah, The Substance, as I said, was a disappointment for me. You know what? These were all pretty much wins. I hated Private Benjamin.
Okay, I've never seen this. This is Diane Keaton, right? Or is it
No, Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn.
It's Goldie Hawn's only Oscar, which is basically why I put it on this list.
Okay.
And I thought it would be like a fun, light, fluffy thing to, mellow out all of the. So it's Goldie Hawn.
What year is Private Benjamin?
1980.
Oh.
Jinx.
Google jinx.
So I put this on here because it's Goldie Hawn's only Oscar, and I love Goldie Hawn, and will defend her until the day I pass away, and Kurt Russell as well. Both have a house in Maine. I haven't not gotten to the point of following them there though yet. But it's a film. It's one of those classic stories about a spoiled rich girl who accidentally joins the U.S. Army, and it's about her journey of self-discovery, as you do. And Albert Brooks is in it, and Albert Brooks plays. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Albert Brooks.
Yeah, Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks plays. I almost said Mel Brooks. That would be crazy. Albert Brooks plays. Goldie Hawn's husband, and I was like, well, how is it that she winds up in the army? Because the first scene is them getting married, and the whole gag is that Albert Brooks, one of the first scenes is Albert Brooks dies while they're having sex, and then she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I guess I'll join the army.
Okay.
And that's kind of, and then from there, that's kind of the whole movie. It has Eileen Brennan, Miss Peacock from Clue, in it.
I do like that as a solve for like, all right, so she's going to impulsively join the army. Why would she do that? What could we come up with? Like, I just watched Home Alone for the first time in a long time with my children, and I admired the construction of how Kevin gets left behind.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is pretty airtight. Like,
you're like an annoying kid that won't leave them alone,
but like
that they do the head count.
Yeah, and the neighbor kid coming in for the head count. And not only that, but then when he spills the milk at dinner, the dad unknowingly throws away one of the plane tickets. And so, because you think to yourself, like, when they were there checking in at the gate,
they didn't
I know
notice
this was
that.
pre-9/11 planes,
Yeah.
but still, like, they would have been like, we have an extra ticket.
Yeah.
And they didn't because the extra ticket gets
never
thrown
even
away.
picked that up.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I was like, man, they thought of everything.
Wow.
They really, and as they did with Private Benjamin, they were like, well, you know, if your
gotta do
husband
something.
dies while having sex
Yeah.
with you, that's traumatic.
Yeah.
You would join the military.
And of course, Albert Brooks was like, I'll do that. I'll be that guy.
Yeah. So, okay, but bad movie though.
But not great. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be fabulous because, you know, I was also like, you know, a little bit of military propaganda.
Sure.
You know, but it's the 80s. You know, they're like, you've all gotten over Vietnam by now. Isn't the Army great? The U.S. military. Just not, I thought knew it wasn't going to be like, I knew it wasn't going to be, I just thought it was going to be more of a standout performance from Goldie Hawn, and I was severely disappointed.
What did she do like the year before? Because was it a makeup Oscar? Is that why?
Ooh, you know what? Could have been.
Because that happens sometimes. I think that's about to happen with Tom Cruise. Because whatever he's doing with the Birdman director, which I am quite scared about, but I think might be seen as kind of a career makeup Oscar.
Because, you know, of course he didn't get the Oscar for Mission Impossible, you know, Port of Call or whatever.
He should have got it for Top Gun Maverick.
Oh,
that's the one he
okay.
should have. That's the
like-
one he should have
I
won
was like, what else
Best
is-
Actor for. That is the one. Oh, actually, he should have won Best Supporting for Magnolia. That's the thing.
oh, yeah.
That's the real one. He should have won that. But that did not happen. And, you know, we've got 10 years of action movies to thank for that decision. I really did not like Mickey 17, which is too bad because I love Robert Pattinson.
Yep.
I am on and off mixed about Bong Joon-ho. I honestly would mostly blame my dislike of this movie on Mark Ruffalo, which is too bad because I love Mark Ruffalo. I love Spotlight, love Zodiac. Mark Ruffalo is doing his character, I would say, is like somewhere between Fraser Crane and Donald Trump,
That sounds awful.
but also Jordan Peterson. And it just feels like people say that this movie was conceived under the expectation that Kamala Harris would win. Because the idea is that a Trump-like politician is basically taking his leaders out to space, to like a probably doomed mission to go colonize another planet instead of being on Earth. But this guy is like, there's a weird insistence on like breeding and like bodily fluids and this, I don't know. It's just, it's very miscalculated. And it also seems like Alec Baldwin's version of Trump. It seems very focused on like gross mouth movements.
Yeah.
And it's just very upsetting to watch. Politically just feels so mistriangulated. And there's just a lot to dislike about it. Robert Pattinson, however, is something to very much like about it, even though I think his multiple characters are not very well written. He's still a lot of fun. So no disrespect to my goat, Robert Pattinson, but Mickey 17 sucked. I also had an extreme moral objection to Roadrunner, which is the documentary about Anthony Bourdain, directed by Morgan Neville. And the reason for that is very specific. It is that, well, there's multiple reasons, actually. It apparently is quite manipulative in its depiction of the reasons for Anthony Bourdain's death, and very much settles on a narrative around his heartbreak or jealousy over his girlfriend, which doesn't seem to be the case if you talk to other people. I think a lot of really well-meaning people who loved Anthony Bourdain were interviewed for this documentary not knowing that that's what it was going to do. But beyond that, also, it uses an AI-generated version of Anthony Bourdain's voice to read a letter that he sends to the artist, David, what's his name? I don't know. He has an artist friend that he sends a letter to. And this artist friend starts reading the letter. He could have just kept reading the letter. But instead,
They had to have
AI
fake-
Anthony Bourdain voice takes over.
Ugh.
It sounds like shit. It's bad. It's stupid. It's confusing. And also, just from the perspective of a documentarian, it's like, I don't think I can ever trust you again. You know, because this is the most manipulative thing that a documentarian could do. It's the most direct and obvious, like, fudging of the truth. And Morgan Neville makes a lot of documentaries. And it's like, man, it's heartbreaking to think, I don't I can't participate with this guy anymore. He did a Steve Martin documentary too that I also watched because I thought Steve Martin is a man of integrity and he would not allow Morgan Neville to and he's still alive.
Yeah.
So he can't stop Morgan Neville from distorting reality. It also wasn't very good. So that made it a little easier to firm up in my mind that I'm about to launch a lifelong boycott against Morgan Neville. But yeah, bad documentary. Very sad that this is what Anthony Bourdain was given. You know, I wish that he had gotten a real director to make a documentary.
You would think,
him.
and you would think, I don't know. Oh, that's disappointing. Speaking of AI generated, what did you think of The Brutalist? It wasn't on my list, but I did watch it.
Yeah, I have not gone back to The Brutalist, and I keep thinking about it because I really liked the first half of The Brutalist, and I thought the second half was sort of crazy in a way that seemed like it had to be on purpose. You know what I mean? Like what Guy Pearce ultimately does to Adrian Brody, I thought was a little on the nose in terms of a metaphor about what capitalism does to art. And the way that Felicity Jones reacts seemed also really over the top for the rest of the movie. But I thought, you know, it's sort of like operatic or something. Like it's deliberately insane. But then I watched Vox Lux, which was Brady Corbett's first movie. And I thought maybe this guy's just not good.
No, it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like Natalie Portman, like it's like Black Swan, but like she's a pop star. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's really funny that you say you enjoyed the first half of the movie and you didn't like the second half, because I walked out of the theater at intermission for The Brutalist. Maybe this is just a thing for me. I cannot stay through an intermission.
Intermissions are a problem for you.
But my friends Leah and Emma and I spent the entirety of the intermission debating whether or not we wanted to stay. And we had already come to terms with the fact that we were going to have to, because it was my brother had given me his AAA 24 free ticket.
Yeah.
So it was the last day I could use it, and they only had like a 6 o'clock screening or something. So we had already come to terms with the fact that okay, we're all going to have to be late for work tomorrow or be on minimal sleep the next morning. Some people have the idea of okay, I've already invested time into this. I might as well finish it.
This is the sunk cost fallacy,
sunk cost
right?
fallacy. Yes. Thank you for putting the words in my brain. But I will put down a book if I'm not enjoying it, even if I've read almost the entire thing. So I will not finish a movie if I'm not enjoying it. So first half.
Sometimes I will do that, and sometimes I fall victim to the sunk cost fallacy.
The Brutalist, of the scene where the Statue of Liberty kind of flips upside down, I was like, wow, I'm in for a roller coaster ride. And then it was just a lot of Adrian Brody mumbling around with his AI generated ramblings and.
Yeah, well, I like a process movie, and so the stuff with the library I really enjoyed, like the construction of the library, and the chair and the stuff. Basically, the stuff that you were seeing him build. I also am a lifelong Guy Pearce fan, and I thought, particularly when he gets to talk a lot in the first half, I was really enjoying what was going on with that character. He has kind of like an extended monologue about his mom. I just enjoy letting Guy Pearce cook. So I liked a lot about The Brutalist. I think, so you never saw the second half?
I never saw the second half. I've been told, it got spoiled for me.
It has a really funny, weird ending. Yeah. The ending is the closest movie that's done this also is 28 Years Later, where the end of the movie just goes now a different movie, and you're like, okay, cool. It does that in a way that I thought was kind of fun and very, very cynical. And again, that helps to me inform some of the boneheaded things that I thought happened in the second half of the movie were almost boneheaded on purpose. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I also want to see The Testament of Anne Lee, which is the next movie from Mona Fastvold, who was the co-writer of The Brutalist.
I always love when an actor has two films coming out at the same time that could not be more different. Like Amanda Seyfried, Testament of Anne Lee, and The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney's back. She's got another box office hit.
I wouldn't say that.
She's back. She's bankable again. It's that's how fast it happens. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So, all right. It's time, I think, unless we have... Okay, well, here's another thing we should say.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I put Elvis on my 25 and 25
I was just going to say, let's discuss our kind of homework to each other.
Yes. So you made sure that I saw Elvis, and I did. I also saw Priscilla as kind of a shot chaser type deal. I would say I liked Elvis better in a lot of ways, but I admired a lot of what was going on in Priscilla. I think Priscilla needed a higher budget. But even as much as it was a very intentionally claustrophobic story, I still think they needed more money. And in general, I think they should give Sofia Coppola more money. But
hear that?
Elvis, I think, is a singular vision. Speaking of AI, I don't think they used any AI. I think that Baz Luhrmann is too weird for that.
Though.
But I feel like in the future, you will never be able to convince someone that movie is not 40% AI generated.
Especially the billboards at the beginning. Like, just...
And I really wanted to see Austin Butler. And for like the first 45 minutes, it feels like the camera doesn't settle on him for more than a half a second.
No.
And it was driving me nuts. But not necessarily in a bad way, because I was like, no one else could do this.
Like, give me the king.
No one other than Baz Luhrmann could... No one else's brain works this way. Mm-hmm. I can't understand what it must be like to be a collaborator on his films. Even just to be Austin Butler and Tom Hanks, what must it be like to film a scene and they're like, okay, so in this scene, you have 2 lines each. There will be 45 camera setups. we will be here all day saying these 2 lines. No wonder Austin Butler got trapped in that Elvis accent.
Oh, yeah.
Think about how many times he had to say every single line. Mm-hmm. Yes, Elvis. It's something else.
Yeah, it is something else. Well, the great thing, too, is that, he makes it up to you, Zach, because you don't get to see Elvis in full view for the first 40 minutes. You see all Colonel Tom Parker. Then all of a sudden, Colonel Tom Parker disappears for ostensibly, like, close to an hour.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, I'm actually really enjoying this movie. And then it's like, oh, jump scare, he's back.
Yeah.
Crazy movie again.
I like letting Tom Hanks take big swings, but I also wish we didn't. Like, I wish we just Tom Hanks was my most watched actor according to Letterboxd, and I was like, unfortunately, not in a good way for Tom Hanks, because I also watched the movie Home, the Robert Zemeckis here's one single angle on a house through thousands of years movie. Awful garbage. So yeah, tough year for Tom Hanks and me, but I mean, I still love the guy. He's still America's dad. What was my homework to you?
So I had Summer of Soul on here, which I loved. I watched it with my friend Evan. We're both big soul, Motown, funk fans, and it's just crazy to me that happened. And for those who don't know, Summer of Soul is a Questlove documentary about the Harlem Music and Cultural Festival in same year as Woodstock, 69.
1969, yeah, because the moon landing happens in the middle of it.
Yes. But it's just, there's all this footage and it's completely forgotten about. And what I loved about it is they interview not only musicians, including like Sly and the Family Stone, that performance is amazing, Stevie Wonder,
Sister Mahalia
Jackson, Mavis Staples, but they also interview people that were there and people that were kids at the time that are like, I would talk to people about this and they thought I was crazy because no one knew it was real.
Yeah.
Because, Woodstock happened, and that's of course that goes to the front of the cultural zeitgeist. But yeah, so it was a really fun documentary to watch, not only because they did a great job restoring the footage. It's amazing seeing that this happened and that the city of New York put it on. It's just this beautiful, wonderful thing. But also it was just a fun, Leo pointing at the screen moment for almost everything. Of just my buddy Evan and I being like, no way!
Yeah.
Look who's here! The Fifth Dimension, who did a crazy performance.
Yeah.
And it was,
One Lin-Manuel Miranda jump scare. Like, honestly, I think I told you this, but that documentary was so good it convinced me to watch In the Heights because hearing Lin-Manuel Miranda speak so coherently about sort of like the intersection of the Puerto Rican music community and the black community, I was like, oh, maybe this guy knows ball, you know?
Yeah.
So I watched In the Heights. That was a big mistake.
You know what? You at least you didn't see, and this is no offense. The Portsmouth High School several years ago did a production of In the Heights. That several of my friends were in, and I went to go see all of these white children butchering Spanish, just so honestly so entertaining. But like, I think the year after that they switched to do like High School Musical or something.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta stay on their corner.
And my other homework on here was After Yang, which I did not get to.
Oh, well, After Yang is also very good. Here's the thing. That movie was directed by Koganda, who did a movie this year called A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which I have not watched because I heard it is a disaster, which is tough because Koganda was 2 for 2. Columbus and After Yang are really great, beautiful movies. I actually rewatched Columbus this year, which actually is another question I wanted to ask you before we start to talk about 2626. You talk about comfort watches. Were there any movies that you found as a result of this process that are getting promoted to the comfort watch category?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably The Green Knight. As I said, I watched it 3 times.
So, yeah.
What else? I think probably... oh, God. I will say probably Wizards, even though it's also a tough watch. Wizards is it's a Ralph Bakshi film. Ralph Bakshi, who did the animated Lord of the Rings, among many other things. And it's a film about 2 brothers who are wizards, one of whom is evil. And it's basically about, it's like watching it, I was like, okay, this is going to be about fascism. This is going to be about Nazi Germany. This is going to be about, powers overtaking. And, but then they literally they do show footage of SS officers and like have them against the screen of like the little army of a bunch of men listening to this are going to hear me talking about wizards and are going to be yelling at their phones. I don't know what the army of the evil wizards is, his guys, but yeah, they make many a direct comparison to, and like I think it's really beautiful as well. Like it does remind me of like speaking about Studio Ghibli films earlier, it does remind me a little bit of like Nausicaa or something like that, where it's like it's very, you have a hero's struggle and a bunch of goofy little guys, but also like the world is ending. There's an army of people destroying the land and trying to wipe out populations. So
it's interesting. Like, I don't know if Wizards is like a kids movie. Just because it's animated doesn't mean it is. But I do find it interesting how, in my own children, watching their capacity for engaging with an idea like that, even something, I mean, I mentioned Home Alone, but like even just watching a Home Alone a year or 2 ago would have been like unthinkable because like the fear of a home invasion would have been like so viscerally intense for them. But they're reaching that point where they've engaged with enough fiction now that they can kind of hold these ideas separate from their lives and interpret them. It's a cool thing to see. Yeah. I don't know. So for me, the comfort watch ones, A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan, Timothy Chalamet movie, like got instantly graduated to that because it's just like a hangout movie with Bob Dylan songs. And then weirdly Mank, which is David Fincher's movie that he's adapting his father's script, which is about Herman Mankiewicz, who wrote Citizen Kane. And I thought that was going to be homework, and I loved it. It's like David Fincher being this extremely precise weirdo, recreating old Hollywood, and also like even the sound in the movie sounds like old microphones. Like it's just cool. a pleasure to sit with. So that one, and then The Worst Person in the World was one that I don't know. I felt very strongly. I guess it felt like reading a novel you love, where like there's a lot of stuff that happens and a lot of different feelings are articulated. And it just kind of like puts you in touch with yourself and your feelings in a way that I think makes you smarter and healthier. So I do feel like I'm going to watch that movie a lot. And September 5 was not a documentary, is a docudrama. It's a recreation of the Munich hostage crisis at the Olympics. Not Munich. Where was it? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because then the movie Munich is about retribution for what happened in Munich. Whatever. Mm-hmm. As told from the perspective of ABC Sports.
Oh.
So the ABC Sports reporters were there on the ground, and so they ended up being the ones who were covering this story. And there's a lot of stuff about the mechanics of TV journalism at the time that just as like a gearhead, I really loved. Yeah. Okay. 2026.
Yes.
26 and 26 list. You have your list set.
Yes.
And tell me how this list was constructed.
Okay. This list was constructed a little bit differently. So I said to Zach, through my, years of Catholic guilt, I was like, I need to add everything I didn't get to in my last year's watch and put it on here.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do that. I did pick a few that
That's
really
healthier,
want to get to. I think I picked 3 or 4.
I think it's healthier to let some things go.
Yes.
Or to say, the time for this will come when it comes. I can't force it. Yes, but I think taking a few is...
Yes.
This is a good choice for you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm trying to be different this year.
Yeah.
So this year, actually, there's a lot of, I'm trying to go on a journey this year of really getting to sci-fi, which I've never really explored before.
Okay.
I watched, last year I watched District 9, which is also another highlight for me.
Yeah.
Watched District 9 for the first time, watched Aliens. I watched Alien for the first time last year too. Watched Terminator T2 for the first time last year. Like, I was just like, I want to get, more into sci-fi.
Well, you've built a good foundation.
Yes. I also, New Dune, was on my list last year. Did not get to, but I put it on my list, and all of my friends were like, Kate, you can't put Dune on there without watching Dune Part 2. You got to watch them back to back. And I was like, well, when Dune Part 1 first came out, there was no Dune Part 2 yet.
That's true.
You all watched it without watching Part 2.
Yeah.
It's like in a lot of these, long series, like a lot of if you read fantasy and you read like Brendan Sanderson, it's like, oh, well, the order is not in the publication date order. So I'm like, well, what if you were one of those poor schmucks that read them in the publication date order, and now all these people are telling you like you read it the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, it's like people who show their kids Star Wars and start with Episode 1. It's like, that's
Why?
wrong.
Well, yeah.
You go in release order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so should I just go and
I want you to read the list. We're going to read our list. This is the sports podcast, like just guys naming players, this is just let's just name some movies. Yeah. Okay. So give me your list.
Okay. All right. Zachary, you're going to be very pleased with this first one, or these first 2.
Okay.
Sorry, Baby.
Hell yeah.
One battle after another.
Hell yeah. Again, 2 of the best of this year.
I'm
Sorry,
so
Baby
excited.
Is so exciting because like Ava Victor as a new voice, I literally don't know what they did other than they were apparently on Billions for a little while. Other than that, though, now Ava Victor has just like arrived fully formed, and I'm there for anything, any future projects.
Nice. Yeah, Zach texted me right after. I think you texted me like right after you got out of the theater, and you were like, Kate, I think you need to watch Sorry Baby as soon as possible.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Okay. And then getting into some sci-fi picks here. Arrival.
Great movie.
Blade Runner. Original Ridley Scott Blade Runner, and then Denis Villeneuve. How do you say it?
Denis Villeneuve.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049. A favorite of Brendan Madden.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. He's a Leadership Seacoast class of, also my class of, what years did I graduate?
2024.
This was a long year. No, 2025.
Oh, 2025. Yeah. Okay.
Last year, a lot happened last year.
That's another thing that happened last year.
Yes.
Okay.
Dune Part 2. Under the Skin.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
I'm excited.
Under the Skin is.
I'm so excited.
I saw that movie at the Music Hall in Portsmouth by myself. and a lot of people walked out, which is a sign of a great movie. And then as I was leaving, I was next to this like 80-year-old man, age is approximate, I'm just guessing, and he said, I think that was the strangest movie I've ever seen in my life. And I said, that's great. And he was like, I know.
Yeah. So a lot of my sci-fi picks come from my friend Evan, and he said, like, when he said you need to add Under the Skin on there, and he said, I cannot watch it with you. He was like, you need to watch it alone.
It's one of the meanest movies ever.
Yeah. I'm excited. Ex Machina, never seen. Yeah.
Fun.
My goal with this list is Alicia Vikander is going to make her way into at least one movie every year.
That's kind of hard, actually. That's a really tough goal for yourself.
Maybe I'll say like Alicia Vikander or Michael Fassbender can make their way.
There you go.
into
Yeah.
Annihilation, which I want to read first. See if I get to it.
Genuinely disturbing movie.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I've watched part of it because there was one time that I fell asleep on the couch and my boyfriend at the time was watching Annihilation. I woke up briefly and I was like, what are you watching? He was like, Annihilation. I saw something weird and I was like, cool, I'm going back to bed. Sinners, which I also didn't see.
Oh my God.
I know.
All right. All right.
I'm so excited.
Time to see Sinners.
It's really time to see Sinners. I do think it's going to be like my perfect movie. I'm really excited. Hellboy. And then Dragon Slayer. A fun romp. Are you familiar with Dragon Slayer?
No.
It's like, it's like Conan the Barbarian or Excalibur or just like a glistening, like corny 80s fantasy romp about this guy that says that he slayed the dragon, but he didn't. So now he has to be like, oh, okay, I lied, I didn't. I'll go do it now. And that's basically the whole movie. I'm really excited. Mandy.
I'm adding it to my watch list.
Yes. If you want to do like a night of just like really Legend, Ridley Scott's Legend is a good one too.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't think it's technically 80s, but it's like all these, there's a certain genre of like fantasy movie from like early 80s to early 90s that everything is like they just covered the set in glitter.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Mandy. Did you ever see Mandy?
I don't think I did. I have a lot of Nicolas Cage movies missing in my... But Nicolas Cage is going to star in the next season of True Detective, so I may need to like get up on my Nicolas Cage a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have Port of Call New Orleans on Criterion Channel right now, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. Port of Call New Orleans is one of the wackiest movies of all time.
I think I might have a little bit of a black licorice thing with Nicolas Cage, but I'm going to try to get over it.
I love... Well, yeah, you and I talked about Long Legs a lot. I watched Moonstruck for the first time this year, which feels like I was like, I cannot believe I've never seen it. And I think that Nicolas Cage in Moonstruck is my idea of the perfect man.
I think I have only seen Moonstruck in pieces on Comedy Central. So I probably do need to like watch it from beginning to end instead of however I watched it, which is probably like half an hour here, half an hour there.
Cher is great in it, but like knowing that she is Cher, like sometimes... Like knowing how Cher is now and watching that, it's like you can't help but laugh.
Yeah.
Same thing with like knowing how Nicolas Cage is now. It's just an interesting pairing. So Mandy's on here. The only thing I know about it is that it's a brutal journey to the wildest revenge, says Letterboxd. So I'm excited.
Sounds good.
I've seen the photos of crazy Nicolas Cage. I'm very excited. I have Dick on here from 1999. It is a fantastic film about Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams on a trip to the White House.
Yeah, okay.
And they befriend Richard Nixon. I cannot wait.
Sounds great.
It's also going to be a journey for me to find. I'm probably going to have to get it on Blu-ray because I don't think it's anywhere. Frances Ha, I've never seen.
Holy shit.
I know.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. I'm really excited.
Sorry Baby and Frances Ha are like almost in some ways like an awesome double
Would
feature.
That be a good double feature?
But,
yeah,
but Frances Ha is much more like wacky.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're both funny. They both have a really strong emotional core, but it's like they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Frances Ha, great movie.
Yeah.
One of the all-time. That's like a top 10 movie for me, honestly.
Okay. I'm really excited. Yeah, I know. Again, like one of those. I think that's the great thing about this list is wait, I haven't seen Frances Ha. Like when I think I put it on here because my friend Adeline was talking about it, and she assumed that I had seen it. She's like, that scene in Frances Ha. I'm like, no, I don't actually.
It's also like 80 minutes long, so like it goes down easy.
Fabulous. Okay, great. I cannot wait. The Ruling Class with Peter O'Toole, where Peter O'Toole basically is, maybe I'll watch Lawrence of Arabia and I'll do this as a palate cleanser. But it's a film about Peter O'Toole's like this rich man who thinks that he's turning into Jesus Christ, and that's all that I know.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. I have on here Keeper of the Flame, which is the only Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy film I haven't seen. And I think, again, mostly because it's very rarely streaming anywhere, so I need to find the Blu-ray. But I remember that I hadn't seen it because I saw this clip of it floating around. But basically, Keeper of the Flame is about this biographer and this is Spencer Tracy. He's either a journalist or a detective. Always one of those two occupations. Spencer Tracy is. That he is writing a biography about a American World War II, a war hero, and Katharine Hepburn finds out some things that are not so palatable about him. I think it's basically supposed to be like Lindbergh. Like,
okay. Yeah.
There's this, so basically finding out that like this American war hero is like actually like feeding Nazi propaganda to the American public.
Right.
And like subscribes to some pretty gross rhetoric. But yeah, Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy, she didn't get to go to his funeral, you know? Those crazy Catholics.
By the way, speaking of Catholics, I just saw Wake Up Dead Man, and I was thinking a lot about Catholicism and the way that weirdly movies about Catholicism make me want to re-engage with Catholicism in some way. The one about the popes last year was similar, and the one before that about the popes, the two popes, was another one. But my world was shaken because I was listening to an interview with Ryan Johnson, and he said he grew up evangelical, not Catholic. And I was like, my culture is not your costume, man. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to make lapsed Catholic movies if you're not a lapsed Catholic.
I think that there's something about the structure of the very rigid structure of the Catholic Church that evangelical Christians want.
Sure.
But they just have not been established enough because evangelical Christianity came out of this need to have like an even more radical version of Christianity, that they're like, well, we're so new that we don't have all this, you know, we don't have the incense and all the, you know, and the Pope hat, like, and all the, you know, all the bells and whistles that you guys have.
But now they want it. Well, yeah. Anyway, I felt vaguely betrayed by the fact that Ryan Johnson did not grow up Catholic.
Yeah. Well,
how could he not have grown up Catholic? I mean, look at him. Anyway.
Double Indemnity. Have never seen. So yeah, that's a classic film noir I've never seen. Put it on there. In the Mood for Love.
Also, I've never seen this.
Okay. Have you seen Chungking Express?
No.
Because I've seen Chungking Express, but not In the Mood for Love, and I feel like a lot of people have seen one or the other. Mm-hmm. So I want to do a rewatch of Chungking Express soon. So I think it would be a good double feature. Just another, just like beautiful yet devastating.
Yeah, this is one of the ones on my like a long-term watch list. It's not on my 26 for 26. Maybe it should be, but it's not. But I've never seen In the Mood for Love, and I it's in the back of my head always.
Yeah, I remembered that I hadn't seen it because I saw Lucy Liu's Criterion Closet video, and she pulled out In the Mood for Love, and she said, In the Mood for Love, isn't this just a sexy movie? And I was like, I want to watch a sexy movie. Die My Love, I have on here. Our Pets.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence making her great return, post-Mother. Actually, has she done? Okay.
She did one.
Mother?
She did the comedy one.
The No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings.
Yeah, I have no desire to watch that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
Okay. Yeah, also don't know. Yeah, I made a playlist for myself on YouTube with all the trailers.
Oh, that's a fun thing to do.
But I don't know if I want to know anything about some of these going into them.
Yeah, I like going in blind when I think you can pick and choose though.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes it's fun to watch a trailer, get excited about it. And sometimes it's fun to just. I'm trying to think. This Francis Ha has a good trailer, I think. Sometimes that helps.
Yeah. I have on here something that you had on your 25 to watch in 2025. I have Sing Sing on here.
Good, great movie.
I'm really excited. I love Coleman Domingo.
The team that did Train Dreams, it's like the team that did Sing Sing also did Train Dreams this year on Netflix, which is another
Train.
Train Dreams Sing Sing. 2 great movies. Keeping an eye on that, and those. It's like a writer-director pair.
Combo. Yeah. Nice. I have Earth Mama on here, which is kind of like known as like the kind of forgotten A24 film, but it's in the vein of. I was almost going to say it's in the vein of Just Another Girl on the IRT, but a lot sadder than that. But it's about a pregnant woman, kind of a young pregnant woman, like navigating through life. I watched this great, video essay. I can't remember who did it. Called The Cult of A24. It was kind of about the ways in which A24 has started marketing their films. And like A24 does still produce films made by all of these small independent directors, but they are only marketing their, the films that they know are going to be higher grossing. So like a film like Earth Mama, and of course like films that are centering around, like that have been created by or are centered around like Black experiences or queer trans experiences, like get very much pushed to the sidelines in favor of like the big grossing horror films and The Brutalist and like all these other. So
Marty Supreme. They spent a lot of money on promoting Marty Supreme, but it worked. It's their third highest grossing movie ever. A24.
Yeah, and we got I think it's been the craziest press junket post. Don't Worry, Darling.
When else would you have got to see Tyler the Creator interacting with Gwyneth Paltrow? Every single time that comes up on my Instagram reels, I'm like, let me watch this. I need to see these two talk to each other.
Can I say too, I watched Sliding Doors like just 2 days ago, and I was like, I need to watch Marty Supreme, because I was like, Gwyneth Paltrow, like, what is she? Because like the goop of it all has gotten in the way of me recognizing how simultaneously excellent and awful of an actress Gwyneth Paltrow is.
Yeah. Well, I would say that exact combination is like weaponized very specifically in Marty Supreme.
That's also a film I think I need to watch alone, I've been told.
I think that it's long. That's the thing. Okay. So you wouldn't want to go to see Marty Supreme with someone and feel like they were bored.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, you said before something that made me think that you're kind of like me. Like, I saw Uncut Gems and I was like, that was so much fun. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, that was so stressful.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was having a super fun time the whole time.
I had a blast. Yeah. An anxiety attack of a movie. Yeah.
Marty Supreme is the same way.
Yes.
Yeah. So I felt like I was having a blast. And then I was so surprised to read reviews that were like, this was so stressful and I didn't like any of the characters. And I was like, I failed to see how that's a problem.
Yeah. I will say, real quick, and then I'll finish my list. But one of my friends, I can't remember which of my friends, said, I'm excited for Marty Supreme because Good Time was an anxiety attack in a bad way. Uncut Gems was an anxiety attack in a fun way. I'm excited to see what kind of anxiety attack this is.
Yeah, well, it's both.
It is one.
Yeah,
okay.
It's everything.
Great.
It's kind of both those movies combined. Good.
So for the films from my 25 to watch that I tacked on here, Parasite, The Learning Tree, which is directed by Gordon Parks, who also did Shaft, but is also a fantastic photographer, and Past Lives.
Past Lives is another banger.
I think the main reason I didn't watch Past Lives was that I went through a breakup this year, and I said, if I watch this movie, I think it will be the end of me.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to avoid it.
Yeah. So I think once I'm ready,
give yourself a nice recovery period before you tap in on Past Lives, because it is a heartbreaker.
Another honorary add to this that I definitely will be watching from my 25 to watch in 2025 is this documentary called Dark Days, which is about people living in the New York City subways. And I just wanted to watch it this week just because it's been so freaking cold out. So trying to watch/read as much content as I can about like the experiences of unhoused folks. And that film I did have to purchase on Amazon on Prime Video. I couldn't even find a Blu-ray. So Dark Days, if anyone has a copy, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I like that. All right.
Zachary Little.
My 26 and 26.
I'm so excited.
Number 1, Sentimental Value.
Okay.
I failed to see that so far this year. I can't believe it. But this is Joaquin Trier and Renata Rensby reteaming. I love Worst Person in the World, so can't wait to see it. Broadcast News. Classic Albert Brooks movie that I have never seen. No, and it's also like never streaming anywhere, and it's still not, but I'm going to figure
You
it
can
out.
have my copy.
I've told you before that physical media is a problem
that's
for
right.
me.
I know.
I live
I
in
keep
half a
forgetting.
house. But, maybe that'll change this summer and I'll be able to watch things. Ghostlight, which is a kind of sideways Shakespeare adaptation. It's about I think like a construction worker who gets involved in a production of Shakespeare. I love that stuff. That's one reason I loved Sing Sing. Pavements. This is Alex Ross Perry's fake biopic of the band Pavement. So it is actually a fake documentary featuring the real band Pavement, a fake biopic starring one of the kids from Stranger Things, that is intentionally fake within the structure of the documentary. And then also a real documentary about a pavement art show that was curated by Alex Ross Perry. So real documentary, fake biopic,
That's awesome.
all interspersed together. Evil Does Not Exist, which is like a eco parable from the Japanese director Raisuke Hamaguchi. I heard it was really good, and I do really want to see it. The Battle of Algiers, which Leonardo DiCaprio is watching during one battle after another. Last Year at Marienbad is another old film that has been I've heard its title floating around for years, and so I've decided I was going to watch it.
You're running through these so fast. I'm trying to add all of them to my watch list.
I'll send you the whole list.
Okay, great.
Wildlife, the directorial debut of Paul Dano, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Cover Up, which is a documentary about Seymour Hersh, the journalist, and I just like to have a couple of documentaries on here. Also, the documentary Steven Van Zandt, Disciple, which is about little Steven, Bruce Springsteen's guitarist. The only reason I haven't watched it is because it's so long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. And so I thought if I put it on the list, I'll watch it.
I watched it on an afternoon when I was sick, and it was perfect for that.
I am very excited.
It's so delightful.
I
You're
love
gonna
a
have a
music
fun
documentary.
time. Yeah.
Margaret. I'm gonna watch the extended 3-hour cut of Kenneth Lonergan's Margaret. I've seen the first 20 minutes of this movie in which the titular Margaret accidentally causes a bus accident that results in the death of Allison Janney. That's the inciting incident of the movie. And it is
Devastating.
absolutely devastating. Yeah. And and I think I watched it and then I was like, I have to stop.
Wait, the death of Allison Janney's character?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know why
real
I thought that you
actress did
said
not die.
it was a fake movie. Because that's a hilarious idea for a movie of I accidentally what if you went back in time and you accidentally killed Allison Janney on her way to the set of The West Wing and
Yeah.
The West Wing was never made, and what would happen?
Yeah, that's interesting. Real sliding doors moment. So number 13, Capturing the Freedmans, which I just know as being a documentary classic that I've never seen. Number 14, Decision to Leave, Park Chan-wook. I've heard it's a real showstopper. Technically speaking, every shot is just wildly composed. I'm excited to see it. Presence, Steven Soderbergh's horror movie film from the perspective of the ghost. He was the ghost. He designed special shoes so that he could walk around with his
I love
camera
it
and
so
gimbal. Number 16, Limitless, which
Oh my God.
I put it at number 16 on purpose because Bill Simmons just did his 50 most rewatchable movies of the 21st century, and Limitless was at number 16, well ahead of many great films. So in tribute to Bill Simmons, who I love, I'm going to watch Limitless.
I think if you make it even 30 minutes into that movie, you can count it as you have watched that movie because it is. I don't know. I couldn't finish it.
I really liked the incredibly dumb Scarlett Johansson movie Lucy, which is almost the exact same concept, where it's the same thing where it's they say you can only use 10% of your brain. What if you could use the other 90%? And the movie Lucy presupposes that if you could do that, then you could become the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how Limitless stands up to that. 17 is a indie movie called Bob Trevino Likes It that was at the New Hampshire Film Festival, and I thought it looked interesting. I didn't go, so it's been on my list. The Feeling That the Time for Doing Something Has Passed. Another indie movie. I just like the title. I don't know what it's about. I was like, yeah, I'm in. I like the title. The Feeling That the Time for Doing Something Has Passed. The Sting. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
In honor of
R.I.P.
the man Robert Redford, I've never seen it, so I thought it would be a good time to do it. 99 Homes, Michael Shannon, Andrew Garfield. It's like a foreclosure drama.
Okay.
It's set during like a 2008 housing crisis. So, could be interesting. Sing Street, the one from the Once guy.
Yes.
Yeah, haven't seen that.
More Irish singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denzel Corner now, Man on Fire,
Yes.
Tony Scott, and Flight.
I saw that image out of the corner of my eye, and I said, "It is." I need to talk to you about it when you finish it, because the things that this man did and then flew a plane, it's awesome.
I'm excited. Also, Denzel Washington, I just watched Highest to Lowest, Spike Lee's movie from last year, and I didn't love it very much, but I love watching Denzel Washington. So I'm very excited that there's 2 Denzel movies on this list.
You saw Tragedy of Macbeth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I like when Denzel's in whisper mode. I actually heard another actor say once that sometimes when you're on set with Denzel Washington, you cannot hear what he's saying because he is speaking so softly, and he knows the microphones will pick him up. And but you can't hear him.
Yeah. I just love Tragedy of Macbeth. I mean, fantastic. Francis McDormand, incredible. Denzel, amazing. One of his best performances, aside from Fences, I think. But I love some lines of iambic pentameter Denzel can't really pull off in his Denzel voice. It's like, Macbeth doth murder sleep. Like, I don't, that's a terrible Denzel, but like, you know what I mean? And you're like, I'm taken out of it. It's just Denzel walking around a room.
Yeah. Actually, that'd be a great double feature with The Green Knight.
Ooh.
Same vibe.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Number 24, The Testament of Anne Lee. We mentioned Mona Fassel's film, co-written with Brady Corbet, the director of The Brutalist. Who knows? It's about the founding of the Shaker movement, and so we'll see. 25, Ephus, baseball movie. It's about like a bunch of guys get together to play a baseball game on their old field before it gets demolished to build like condos or something. And, for some reason, as much as I don't watch baseball, I like baseball content. I love the movie Moneyball. It's one of my favorites. And there's a novel called The Art of Fielding that I've read like maybe 4 times that I love. I think maybe something about this is going to get to me. Yeah. And the number 26, Secret Mall Apartment. This is a documentary about a group of people who built an apartment secretly inside a mall and lived there for years. Oh. Another one that I missed at a film festival and I've had in my head forever. And I think it actually was theatrically released last year. So now I'm banking on it becoming available on a streaming service at some point in 2026.
Okay. We'll see if that happens.
That's my list.
Yay.
26 and 26. We have our lists.
Yes.
We've committed. Mm-hmm. How do you think you're going to do next year? You think you're going to clear 48%?
I think I'm going to do better than 48%. Mm-hmm. I bet you that, because I'm really committed this year. I've already been doing better. I do think that like my just lack of watching movies in general last year contributed, but also I did really set myself up for failure in retrospect with the prior list. These are going to be a lot more fun loving, and also ones that I've kind of intentionally put on here that I know when I am with some of my friends and they're like, hey, you want to watch a movie? Like, I will pull one of these and they will actually want to watch them.
They will say yes.
They're not going to want to watch a 4-hour long film about an Englishman walking.
Yeah.
So what about you, Zach?
My honest prediction about mine is that I will do worse statistically. I will definitely see more than 26 movies, but I've been watching so many movies for the last couple of years, and I can see my will to continue at this rate is waning, and I've been wanting to like read more. I have not really like kept up with a television show in several years, and so I might like to try that a little bit too. People talk about the show Industry a lot. And I think that's next. The 4th season is coming out pretty soon. I haven't watched any of it, but it's like finance world stuff. And I like people in meetings. That's my favorite genre. So I could see becoming being a little more well-rounded in my media diet in 2026, where I don't necessarily rampantly consume movies constantly, and I maybe try to make some space for other stuff. I also have like way more work to do this year than I know what to do with.
Yeah.
Which I'm very fortunate in that way. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy to have that. But it's very strange to be in January and go like, I am probably going to have to start saying no to people, which is like, whoa, it's only
That's
January.
hard.
But yeah, so we'll see. But I'm excited about, 2026.
I'm excited too. New year.
I always allow myself to be excited about a new year, despite,
I always
the
say
persistence of the horrors.
Well, yes, I was going to say maybe on the local level, there will be some good things happening.
Yeah,
maybe we'll have some new, actually affordable housing developments. I'm excited to see if that possibly happens. As far as everything else, as the great Sam Jackson says, hold on to your butts. So. Yeah. It's the new year. That doesn't mean that you have to throw out the old you. But I will be throwing out the old me that only watched 62 movies last year. Because God, what was I doing other than sitting down watching movies? Huh?
It's only like one a week.
Yeah, you picked a lot of movies that were like, I heard about this in passing and it seems interesting.
Yes.
So I'm very curious to see.
That's the way I used to be.
Yeah.
Like, Morgan jokes that I have like a photographic memory of like Rolling Stone, that I will just be like, oh yeah, I read in a magazine 15 years ago that movie was good.
Well, speaking of Guy Pearce, you are Memento.
Yeah. That's actually, all right, odd question to close out here. What movie would you say that you've watched the most in your entire life? Because for me, the answer is Memento.
Really?
Yes.
Pretty in Pink.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also one of my mom's favorite movies. So I've watched it when I was a kid. It's my sick movie. Whenever I'm sick, I'll just turn it on.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I got obsessed with the movie Memento and I just made everyone watch it.
Yeah.
And so I think I probably watched it like 20 times in high school, just like making people sit for screenings. And I don't think I've watched it since, but I really liked it.
I would say so.
So yeah, okay. So watch Memento if you haven't. Watch Pretty in Pink if you haven't.
Yeah.
Have a good 2026. I mean, I'm saying that like there's not going to be more podcasts, but there are. I've already recorded so many.
Well, if people have their own 26 to watch in 2026, I know it doesn't fly off the tongue as well as 25 and 2025.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I would like to send me your list.
Yeah.
Join Letterboxd. Follow both of us on Letterboxd.
Yes. Mine. Letterboxd is at Saint Kate. I got in very early.
Saint like ST Kate or SA?
No,
so
SAINT Kate, not like Saint Vincent Kate. Like
right.
It's like Saint
okay.
Kate. Yeah.
And I'm Zach Little.
Yes.
So okay.
So follow us.
Follow us on Letterboxd. It's the best website on the internet. It's not a paid advertisement. This podcast does not have any paid advertisements.